Everybody, this is Joel Toppin, and I've got a new game here from GMT Games. I picked it up at the GMT weekend here a couple weeks ago, and finally going to give you the opportunity to take a look inside the box. So I've already removed the shrink wrap, couldn't wait, had to take a look inside of it there at the warehouse, but I'm going to go ahead and show you now what comes inside this package. As you can see here, it's a deep box, and that always gives you the promise of lots of goodies on the inside. The game is called Offensive Outrance, the 1914 initial campaigns on the Western Front in World War I by Michael Resch. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the cover off and let's take a look inside the box. Okay, I've gone ahead and removed the cover, and the first thing that greets you is the rulebook. So the rulebook is, according to the table of contents, going to weigh in around 38 pages, well less than that, 37 pages of rules. The entire booklet is 40 pages long, which is actually less than I was expecting. It's a black and white rule book. This is old school GMT styled. It's not the glossy stuff that some of their other new games have been coming with, but it seems to be nicely illustrated. What little I've looked over at the rules, it looks like it's pretty easy to grasp. I was thinking this was going to be more complex than this, so that's something of a pleasant surprise here. This is a large game. Alright, here's a packing slip there. Colorful turn record chart here. So there you have it. That's the game record track for the entire campaign. So nicely colored and just one-sided semi-gloss cardstock. Here we have our first look. Whoop! Dice went flying. Our first look at the counter sheets. So this is counter sheet number 1. It doesn't tell me how many counter sheets to expect, but this is number 1, and presumably these are the French, with the pantalon rouge, the red stripe at the bottom on the cavalry. That's a nice touch. So anyways, there's your French units. Looks like most of these are divisional size. A couple regimental pieces in there, looks like. Alright, sheet number 2. More dice go flying. Clearly there was a couple dice in there, 6-siders. Okay, this is sheet number 2. More Frenchies. Looks like the BEF, British guys. Something about expansion down here. I'm not sure what that's all about. Like I said, I haven't really looked that closely at it. Looks like the purple guys are the Belgians. And gray, I wonder what these will be. Oh yes, Germans. What a shock. Alright, so here's the German counter sheet number, German counter sheet number 1. So they numbered this kind of odd. Looks like you have Allied sheet number 1 and number 2, and then German counter sheet number 1. And these are half-inch counters, by the way, just so you get an idea of the scale. And here is German counter sheet number 2 with some more apparently expansion counters. I'm not sure if the rules for the expansion are included or if it's something that they're going to put in a C3I or something down the road. Looks like there's some optional Dutch pieces here for proposed expansion. So there you go. So a total of 4 counter sheets thus far. Here comes some general markers. Marker sheet number 1. Marker sheet number 2. Lots of markers with the game. Marker sheet number 3. Boy, they just keep coming, don't they? So there you go. Okay, now we have another counter sheet, but it's these look to be like the wide counters from the Great Battles of History series. So these are wide pieces to mark what units are 2-hex units and the armies that units belong to. Kind of cool. Here we have a play aid. Now it's perforated. This is die cut on which you track, I guess, the status of the different armies. This is kind of a cool touch. This is the same stock as the counters, and obviously you would punch these out. Pretty cool. And there's a couple of these. So here's the second one here. Third one. I'm beginning to understand why this is a deeper box. Fourth. Okay, and now we come down to the charts, which are on semi-gloss full color. There's your train key, battle results tables. It's a 2-part fold out. I know nothing about the game, so I can't tell you a whole lot about it, having never played the predecessor. But it looks like you got a couple of these that come in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can play this in teams. Looks like there's a set of charts for 4 people to play. Okay, we got maps. We got a host of maps here. I'm not going to unfold these because I don't have a lot of space. I don't like to... Well, I'll tell you what. How about I do this? I'll unfold these just to kind of give you an idea. So let me stop the video at this point here, and I'll break some of these maps out. Okay, so I've gone ahead and unfolded one of the maps here. This is the one of the northern maps, which covers from, looks like from Brussels and Antwerp on down into the Ardennes, into France. You see the artwork is very, very nice. It looks like it's a pretty easy map to read. I really like the artwork on these 1914 games. Now, I have never played the first 1914 Twilight in the East game, but this one here, being a fan of Barbara Tuchman's book and just really a big fan of World War I in general, I had to get this one. So here's a look at the map. This is just one part of it. There are 3 map sheets in here. There is a south map, a west map, and an east map. So I've got a 5-foot by 8-foot table here. Fortunately, I've got unconditional surrender on the map way over there, so I don't really have a lot of room to put these on, but this would fit on my game map with no problem, and plenty of room for the play aids to go around it. So last thing that did come in the box is the playbook. So here we go. Playbook is weighing in total of 28 pages. There are a number of smaller scenarios in here, so if your table space is limited, there are smaller scenarios in the game. You have a Battle for Lorraine, the Grand Campaign, and the Race to the Sea. Designer notes, extra counter list, and whatnot. So, and again, this is going to be black and white. As you can see here, it's the setup and instructions should not be all that difficult to do. And there you have it. So that is 1914 Offensive outrance. Oh, and I forgot to show you, these are the baggies with which, and the dice that came flying out. But those baggies, that kind of cracks me up there. Those baggies are designed to hold all those counters. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to actually work. This is a great candidate for a couple of the GMT flat trays. Once those get back into stock, you got a nice deep box here. You should be able to put 2 of those trays in there very comfortably, and then maybe use the baggies for the markers. That's actually what I've done with unconditional surrender, except I can get everything into 1 tray and a couple of baggies. So that's 1914 and what comes inside the box.